Hi, this is how I made this Gapao bento. This is actually a Thai dish that's been Japaneseified. This is a recipe that I tried to recreate from a dish that I had at a vegan cafe, so I hope you enjoy. I used a clove of garlic, red onion, long bean, red pepper, some shiso, oyster sauce that I made from mushrooms, and I'll link that recipe below, soy sauce, paprika, some already rehydrated hijiki, and this can of beans. This recipe will be just about one serving, by the way. So I minced the garlic, cooked it with a bit of oil, and then added in the paprika. Then I added in the beans. Don't worry about that water with the beans in there. It'll evaporate and cook through with everything else. And I also added in the hijiki. Then I diced up the veggies and added those in to cook as well. I also finally chopped the shiso and added it towards the end as a garnish. It kind of replaces the basil in a traditional gapao recipe. At least that's what I found from my little bit of research on proper gapao recipes. This umeboshi daikon salad was also adapted from a recipe that I'll link below. I used an umeboshi, some daikon, some kind of sprouts, soy sauce, maple syrup, vinegar, and oil. I just cut off the top of that sprout. I'll be using that to lay my daikon on top of later. Then I cut up the umeboshi nice and finely and remove the seed from there. You kind of want to cut it up as small as possible so that it purees in nicely. I added half a teaspoon of soy sauce, half a teaspoon of maple syrup, about a teaspoon of oil, and then about 2 teaspoons of the vinegar. The original recipe called for amazake, but I didn't have that, so that's why I think I replaced it with maple syrup instead. Since this will be just one serving, I only peeled a little bit of the daikon that I'll be wanting to use for the salad. Then I cut it into as thin slices as possible and then julienned it up. Sorry for the awkward framing and my hair peeking up through a lot of these pictures. Sometimes you just gotta get up close there and really get those precise cuts. So yeah. Then I just tossed up the julienne daikon with the dressing that we prepared earlier. For the nibitashi, I just used a piece of carrot, piece of eggplant, and then the sauce that I always use for these kinds of summery dishes, which is 1 part soy sauce, 1 part median, 1 part sugar, and then half part sake. Then I just cut it up in 2 sizes like this. And my teacher taught me to add this pattern onto the dark part of the eggplant. What would you call that, like crisscrossy? Lattice shape. And I'm not sure if this is just for beauty or for better sauce immersion, or maybe both, but you can do this if you want or not and report back. Do a little science experiment in your house as to whether that changes up the flavor a lot. I just boiled the carrot for a bit and then added some oil to a hot pan and cooked the eggplants for a bit. This sort of helps it soften up and then better absorb the sauce that we'll be simmering it in later. So after it's cooked for a bit, just add it in with the carrot, add in that sauce, and then cover it with a lid until the carrot is nice and soft. I think it should take about 5 to 10 minutes. And then all your components are ready. Just put those bad boys together and you've got this nice little bento. Hope you enjoyed and hope it tastes good if you try it out at home. Thanks for watching.